Parsboro Community Radio listeners. Welcome to Exploring the Neighborhood with your hosts, Thor and Debbie, here on CICR 99.1 on your FM dial. We'd like to thank Kanza as the sponsor for our show.
For those of you who are not aware, Kanza is Cumberland County's only Careers Nova Scotia centre and a vital participant in this area's road to prosperity. This year, Kanza is celebrating 15 years of serving the area and providing valuable employment and educational opportunities. Our goal for Exploring the Neighborhood is to take you on a series of half-hour adventures that include road trips, candid interviews, and commentaries.
We'll focus on the area's homegrown businesses, unique landmarks, and emerging talent. We're hoping to shine a well-deserved light on the local endeavors that promote eco-friendliness and self-sufficiency.
And we're back on Exploring the Neighborhood, one of the first shows of the new year, and we're sitting here with Mr. Jamie Hicks. I discovered you on the internet. I was searching for hunting videos, and lo and behold, some of the best ones were under your, what do you call it?
Jay's Backcountry Quest.
That's it, Jay's Backcountry Quest. After seeing at least 10 of those, which I was pretty fascinated, going, wow, where is this place? I looked you up and realized the dude's in Amherst.
Not even 20 kilometers away.
How did that happen? You know, I'm used to seeing him from like Texas or Tennessee or something like that. And then here he is, he's right in the backyard. So I had to call and bring him in. Jamie, welcome.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me here.
Tell me, how did all this start?
It all started from my father. He always done a lot of hunting and fishing. He was always a hunter and fisherman and trapper especially. But I was always interested in it and all that stuff. But he actually encouraged me to do it. So after being encouraged to do it and going out and trapping and doing some hunting and stuff, it all really started right from there. So I can really thank my father a lot for getting me into it and getting me started. And even today, he's still there to help me and see us through with this whole Jay's Backcountry Quest thing. So it's really started from there. And throughout the years, we've done the same thing, my father and we were kind of hunting partners. But over the years, I've evolved a little bit more and taken a little bit further now and actually made it a business.
What is the business?
Well, the business is a guiding, outfitting business for hunting and fishermen all over the world. I've guided people from all over the world. That's really what it is. I don't really like to say it's a work business, but it's more fun. But it is a business, a family business. And what we do is we take people out hunting and fishing and guide them for big game animals as well as small game. But we have a hunting lodge that we accommodate them and bring them in and feed them and take them on adventures that some of them have never done before.
New Brunswick as well as Nova Scotia?
I am a licensed guide in New Brunswick as well. A few years ago, I'd done a guided hunt for Canada in the Rough. And we had the Rocky Dream Hunt contest winner from BC. So I went to New Brunswick and set up there, and I had a few guides hired to help me. And we had an extraordinary hunt up there with Canada in the Rough and made 2 really good shows out of it. New Brunswick has some really good representable animals up there.
I've heard the bears are just huge.
The bears are huge. You're right there.
Our mutual friend Simon Carter, who I believe you know.
Simon would know about big bears.
He had pictures last year of his little girl who's probably 4 foot nothing. And this over 500-pound bear.
Yep.
The picture is one of those you almost believe it's photoshopped.
You do, and that's what it is. A lot of people think, no, and a lot of people get this perception about guides and outfitters that they have to have these big pictures of everything, but the bears are there. We can't help what bears are there. They just show up. Nova Scotia has a great bear population. It's thriving. Actually, it's getting to the point now where I believe, and many other hunters and outdoorsmen in Nova Scotia believe, that it's almost time to implement the spring bear hunting season into Nova Scotia.
I support that.
That's great because a lot of others do as well. The bears are now coming out in people's yards right downtown and getting into the compost bins and stuff like that. And safety purposes also. So I think it's time that they should really, really look at implementing the spring bear hunt.
I agree 100%. We have a place out in Joggins. One of our neighbors runs into huge bears when he wanders the streets at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, there would be.
Quite frequently.
Right in there. It's a bear populated area. Always has been. And not only that, you've got the dump there too, right?
That's where we saw it.
Yeah.
Huge monster.
Yeah, and that's where you would see it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Jamie, describe the total business that you have.
We get requests and we get a lot of questions about what we provide as an outfitter and provide as a guiding business. When we get a client that contacts us and wants to know how exciting it'll be or what they can expect, we try to put as much into it as we can because Nova Scotia has so much to offer. Nova Scotia has so many things that people all around the world has never seen before. So when they arrive here, first of all, we pick them up most of the time at the airport. We take them on a scenic drive. All the way back from there to their lodge, it's just all scenery. And not only that, it's the beaches. A lot of these people have never seen a beach before, ever been on the beach. So digging clams, fishing, any attractions, blueberry season, because bear season here in Nova Scotia is right in the midst of the blueberry season. A lot of these clients have never seen a blueberry rake. So once they see a blueberry rake and see how it's being used, they're like amazed right then. We want to really kind of make it something they can remember, something that'll bring them back to Nova Scotia, which we have a lot of returning clients because they're amazed with what Nova Scotia has.
As we were.
Exactly. So, there's too many things to show them in a week, but we like to get as much in there as possible. We know that they're here to hunt bear, and 90% of our clients are here very seriously to get into hunting. So once they arrive at camp, we get them settled in. We treat them to all the amenities. It's still hunting.
Yeah.
It's hunting.
Still a little rough.
and it's rough, but they want that roughness. They like that roughness. They don't come to stay in a motel. They want to stay in a hunting lodge where they can be free, be themselves, and that's what we provide.
Never any beer involved, is there?
Oh, no, never. There would be... No, them are bad words. Yeah, there's been a few beer drank, I'm sure.
It's bears. Not
yeah, that's right, beer. Yeah, a few bears, yeah. But no, we provide them with everything. We have baited sites here in Nova Scotia. We're allowed to bait. All of our bait sites are from tree stand. We accommodate rifle or bow or crossbow. And there's different setups for each one. But we make sure that everything is safe. We put in the best pride in setting these up and making sure that everybody is safe to come back at camp that night. And that's the way we got to keep it that way.
Just out of curiosity, what's the average amount of time he actually has to spend in a stand before he gets to shoot one?
Well, it varies, but we've had them 10 minutes into the hunt shoot a bear. And they're like, oh, should I have done that? We got to remember that what we as hunters here in Nova Scotia see these bears all the time. We tend to pick and choose some, but what we consider to be a trophy bear to us may not be what one of our clients consider to be a trophy bear to them. And we always ask our client, what are you expecting? What are you looking for? They'll actually give us some feedback on that. And that kind of gives us an idea of what they'll be comfortable with, because a first-time bear hunter sees a bear and it could be 125 pounds, but they think it's a giant bear. And we've had that.
They do look bigger.
Oh, they do. But when you walk up to them, they shrink a little bit.
Where do most of your clients come from?
Well, 90% of our clients are from the US. Now, myself, I have a booking agent in Belgium. He books all my European hunts. Now, I had a group of 9 come from Belgium, and every one of them harvested a bear. Actually, the biggest bear we ever harvested with Cobequid Outfitters was 427 pounds, and it was shot by a Belgian guy. It was one of the ones that stick out.
500 is a good target number.
Oh, 500 is a big bear. That's over average for Nova Scotia. Your average bear, 275 to 375, and after that, you're in the gravy.
Even at that, I mean, anything over 250s.
Oh, definitely.
Decent.
And like I said, a 250-pound bear is good eating. It's got good hide. A very representable bear for Nova Scotia.
Are there other animals that you guide for?
Well, I do guide for bear more than white-tailed deer because I'm a big white-tailed deer hunter, so I have a tendency to kind of put that on my side of my agenda. But it's hard to guide for deer in Nova Scotia. We have great deer. Now, don't get me wrong. In parts of the province, there is better than other, but we have some big body, mature white-tailed deer here in Nova Scotia. And as a passionate white-tailed deer hunter like myself, I don't think it's fair to bring a client into Nova Scotia that's looking for a trophy white-tailed deer, whether it be spike horn or a 10-point buck, if they gotta sit so long. I don't feel it's fair that they come all week. They may not see deer all week. Myself puts between 400 to 500 hours in a year hunting deer. And just for instance, this year I never got a deer, but I seen lots. I think it's hard to become successful for what clients are expecting.
Yeah, they do have a lot of opportunity across North America for trophy deer.
Yes, they do. Texas, the lower states, there's some beautiful bucks there, the big antler deer, the smaller bodies. You know, Saskatchewan is a great place for hunting deer. We have some deer here. Hey, there's some beautiful bucks taken out of Nova Scotia every year. The Brookfield Elks, that's an example right there of some of the biggest deer shot in Nova Scotia are registered there every year. I think this year was 247.5 pounds. I mean, we're talking giant deer. More of a conflict for me, I guess. I like to hunt white-tailed deer and to guide for white-tailed deer. I just think it's something that I don't think I could compete with myself against a client, I guess.
Moose?
Here in Nova Scotia, it's an endangered species, so I guess we're not able to hunt moose here in Nova Scotia.
I know that Simon goes to Newfoundland.
They go to Newfoundland, yep. New Brunswick, you can get a draw in New Brunswick. You can go hunting there.
What about Cape Breton?
Cape Breton, yeah. There's a lot of licenses each year. You can apply for them for different zones. Cape Breton has some of the biggest moose in the world other than Yukon moose. And the population is thriving there. And I apply for every year. But along with a lot of other Nova Scotian people apply. And not just Nova Scotians, but I think all over the provinces and maybe all over North America probably apply for it because you're able to. But it's a hard draw. I've been applying since I was 18 to be able to hunt for moose, but it has never ever been drawn.
So your main focus is bear then?
Bear and fishing, smallmouth bass.
And how's the fishing there?
Oh, the fishing is great. I had a good friend of mine, Scott Odekirk, got me into smallmouth bass fishing. By far, for me, it's the most amazing fishing and exciting because they literally bite an old doeskin shirt if you want to feed it to them. There's a technique to it. It's all depending on what you want to do with it. But smallmouth bass fishing in Nova Scotia is becoming way more popular than it used to be. Now I'm in the tournament trail in Nova Scotia and I do a lot of tournaments. It's a lot of fun. Striped bass fishing as well. Same here. We can fish right off the beach and that's really exciting as well.
I didn't even go fishing this year.
Oh, no?
No.
Oh man, that's no fun at all.
I got so caught up in the urge to hunt.
We had a smallmouth tournament and the guys said, "Are you going to be here next week?" And I said, "No, I don't think so. It's the 15th of September and hunting season opens." So I think it kind of got set to the side.
Jamie, we talked about the difficulty now of actually even starting to go hunting. What's with all the new rules that they put in and all the new courses you got to take?
Well, there's a lot of new things coming into the program here. We got to look at it in many different lights. I don't know really that all the new regulations that's being implemented is really the way to go about it. I don't think it's going to be a successful thing for our younger generations coming in. I think it's actually making it harder for the younger generation to actually get access or to even get involved in the outdoors in the sport of hunting. I'm not positive on a lot of the changes coming in. I know as far as the generations, a lot of the older generations have really given up on it. And we don't see the older people hunting as much as we used to. But then we don't see the younger generations starting to hunt like they should be.
Well, I know just for myself, I was anxious to restart my hunting experience coming back from 12 years in California where really it's frowned upon.
Yeah.
And here I am a year and a half later and I'm only up to the stage of being able to shoot a crossbow.
Yeah.
It's frustrating to go through all these courses that teach you in certain cases, things that go against the grain of everything you know.
That's one of the other reasons. We all know what common sense is. And sometimes when they put these regulations in, I find if it's more of a person sitting behind a desk that's making these regulations and trying to implement them, but then again, they're not the ones out in the outdoors using them.
That's what I felt with the tests. There were at least, I'd say, a handful of questions where the answers were completely against not just my experience, but every hunter and weapons technician that I know. It completely goes against what you know and have been taught.
Exactly. No, and I totally agree with that. I just don't think that they're helping the outdoors industry by making it so hard. Now, we always want safety. We know that there's always got to be a safety factor there. Accidents do happen. That's just a part of life. But here in Nova Scotia, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but in my own personal opinion, I don't think that they understand that in the maritime provinces, there's a lot of kids that grow up with the outdoors as a heritage thing, growing up that they see their parents and they see their friends and they see their grandfathers that done this all their life, and they would love to get into it, but I find that the government and the regulations are making it way too hard for them, so they find something else to do.
Too many roadblocks.
Too many roadblocks. No, I agree.
Something that should be a rite of passage.
Exactly. You know, I mean, take your kids out all over the provinces, down in the States and stuff. They can hunt there at 8 years old, 8 and 10 years old. Now, we're not asking for kids just to go out and hunt with no training or no safety issues or without a parent. But I, myself, and along with a lot of others, would like to see the age dropped in Nova Scotia to a representable age, say 10 years old even. Get the kids involved and gather their interest. They'll follow.
My dad gave me a gun at 7.
There you go.
That was my intro, and I learned real quick not to point it at people.
Right.
Because I got beaten over the head the first time the gun swung a little bit. Yeah, you never forget, and then you move on, and even a 10-year-old kid can be responsible under supervision. That's
right. It's got to be under supervision for sure. And you train them. You train them to do other stuff. You teach them. You show them the experience. And really, the hand-on experience is very important. Very important. Myself is like you. I was sitting behind a piece of tin watching for partridge to get in apple trees just so I could get a crack at them with the pellet gun. But nowadays, you don't even hear tell that anymore. And it's very discouraging as a passionate outdoorsman and hunter like myself, and outfitter, to just see that the involvement is getting less and less all the time.
Now, how did you start the business? Let's focus on the business aspect of it. How did it turn from your passion, your hobby, into a business?
Okay, I guess it was one day I was just sitting there and I thought, you know what? I wonder if it would be something that would be feasible for me to get into and experience and bring clients in. First of all, I started out, I thought, how am I going to afford it? How am I going to get started? What's the startup costs that are going to be involved? So I contacted a place that allows funding, allows training and business opportunities to get started. Anyway, that fell through. So I kind of went on my own.
As it did with many others.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good experience. Like I said, it was a lot of time consuming, questions. It really almost felt like they really didn't want me to have a business. So I kind of thought, you know what? I don't have a good feeling about this. I think I'm going to have to take another route. So what I did is I started setting some money aside myself and started doing some extra work and side jobs and stuff like that. Because getting set up, the initial cost, it really is expensive. And what you want to put into it is what you got to expect to try to get back out of it. So after a year, I saved money up a year and I had my stands and I had my lodge. I bought my lodge. I waited actually 3 years to buy the lodge because the price of it was so high at the beginning, so I had to wait for it to drop. I kind of dickered with the guy a little bit, to kind of get the camp out of him. But anyway, we done a lot of repairs to the camp, and money aside that, we had excavating work done to make access more easy. But really, it all came from sitting down with a piece of paper and drawing out some thoughts and how I could make it enjoyable for our clients to come in. And the money-wise was all put together by myself.
You echo the ways and means of most of the businesses around Cumberland County that I've encountered. They all kind of did it themselves. No help from the bank, no help from the business development
community. True. That's right. Exactly.
And they're all the most successful businesses in the area from my observation.
Definitely. No, I agree completely. The people in the county, in Cumberland especially, but even Colchester County, a lot of these small businesses, they have great ideas, but it just seems like they're so hard to get any funding or get any approvals that they just can't wait any longer. And if they sit back and wait for this, well, then their train of thought becomes a negative train of thought, and they don't think it's a good business themselves, and then it just kind of washes away.
Best way to get started is do it.
Oh, just do it. Like, there's no question about it. If you want to do it and you have a strong will to do it and a good feeling about it, most times it's best to just grab the bull by the horns and go with it.
The advice from Thor and Jamie Hicks. If you got an idea, you want to do it, just go do it.
Definitely.
Don't wait for anybody.
No, don't let anybody tell you any different. Just go with it.
And if you hear negativity or the word no, just move on.
Yeah.
There's always a yes for every no. You just got to find it.
And them no's to me are the ones that push me the best. Them are the ones that really push me.
And you get this attitude that's just makes you go, you know where to go.
Yeah.
So I encountered you from YouTube of all places. Is that your main marketing, or how do you sell yourself?
Well, it's tough, but so many resources today. Social media is huge. Social media is a big thing today. It can be used positive and negative, as we both know. But my video footage, I do a lot of filming. Filming, for me, is one of the best promotional things that I could ever use. But I have a booking agent in Belgium that I have there that books my European hunts. That's one of the ways I promote. But not only that, I have a lot of clients that promote me. So our returning clients will go home, they'll speak to their friends, and their friends speak to other friends. So that's another good way of promoting. I do a lot of self-promotion because in this hunting business, it can be tough. And sometimes hunting can be a negative sport between hunters, outdoorsmen, guides, stuff like that. But social media, YouTube, I put a lot of stuff on YouTube, Facebook, Jay's Backcountry Quest Facebook page, Cobequid Big Game Outfitters. Through all of them social media sites and stuff like that, it's one of the best parts.
Jamie, we're sitting here and it's January. Probably the worst time to think about hunting and fishing.
You think about it the most right now because you can't wait for it to come again.
I think that's why I called you. So what's up for 2017? Let's see what you got.
Well, 2017 is going to be exciting. I've actually thought about it, and 2017 I want to make one of the most exciting years for me for hunting and fishing, doing some TV shows and stuff like that. As you probably already know, I'm with Hitman Canada, hunting and fishing TV show. And I kind of want to make 2017 one of the most memorable for me. I've got a lot of things on the go. I have a lot of things in the closet I want to bring out and get going. But right now we're going to finish off the winter with some coyote hunting, a little bit of rabbit hunting. Partridge season, grouse season just finished, so we can't do that anymore. But other than that, the biggest thing leading up now would be the spring fishing, the spring stripers. That for me is going to be a big time of the year for me. I'm going actually to Miramichi this year with a good friend of mine, Steve Dubé, and we're going to do some guiding for striped bass this year. So that's going to be one of my biggest adventures of the spring season for fishing.
Cool. And you were talking to me about contests that are coming up?
Yeah, every year I usually give away a few contests, mostly for bear or smallmouth bass fishing. Now this year the contest is going to be for a hunt, a 3-day hunt with us at Cobequid Big Game Outfitters. All expenses paid other than your license at the lodge, and it'll be coming up here probably in May or June to get ready for the September season. And you can apply for that online. You'll see on Jay's Backcountry Quest, it'll be posted there. Or you can go on to the Hunt 360 Outdoorsmen's Association or Bass Nuts. Them are the three groups that I have. or you can contact me through Facebook Messenger or anything like that. We will have summer fishing trip. It'll be for smallmouth bass fishing for 2 days, smallmouth bass fishing with me, and it'll be actually from my lodge.
Excellent. So I can put my name in for both, right?
Yeah, you win either way, probably.
All right. And for all those other people that are interested and can't get to the front of the line like I can, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, for all the other people out there, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can contact me by email at hunt360ns@gmail.com, or they can find me on Facebook at Jay's Backcountry Quests, and also at Jamie Hicks on Facebook, or Hunt360 on Facebook as well.
Super. Everybody wrote that down?
Yeah. Pen and paper? Yeah.
Jamie, thank you so much for coming down and sharing your stories with us, and thank you for explaining your business. And everybody who's thinking about going hunting and fishing this year, there are 2 wonderful outfitters in this area, Jamie Hicks and Jay's Backcountry Quest.
Yep, that's what it is.
And of course, there's Simon Carter and River Phillip as well. You've got plenty of choice, great outfitters, knowledgeable, and the bears and deer are here, I've seen.
Oh yes, they're here. Well, I appreciate you having me on the show, and hopefully people will know that there's a lot of things in Nova Scotia, a lot of outdoors activities, and to follow us on Jay's Backcountry Quest, and we have them posted there. There's a lot of different activities for everybody throughout the year, including right now we have the Bass River Bunny Hunt coming up soon.
Bunny hunt?
They have a little bunny hunt. They get together in Bass River, and they do a little competition amongst groups of guys and bow hunting and stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty good setup.
Crossbow?
I don't know if they allow the crossbow or not. I'm not sure.
Darn, I'm excluded from everything.
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'm not really sure.
All right, sounds good. You get back to me. Thank you so much, Jamie. Appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, time has run out. If you'd like to contact us, our email is scotiaheritageproductions@gmail.com.
When it comes to local business, arts, crafts, and entertainment, we'll try our best to provide a global perspective on our community and remind listeners that where one regularly chooses to spend their money is often much more powerful than the occasional vote at the ballot box.
So, help out your talented neighbors and enjoy the unique diversity of what Cumberland, Westmoreland has to offer. And ultimately, you'll be helping yourself. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Exploring the Neighborhood is sponsored by Kansa, your Careers Nova Scotia Centre.
So, tune in next week for another episode of Exploring the Neighborhood with your hosts, Thor and Debbie, here on CICR 99.1 on your FM dial.